Hello, Aquarius. This is your love and relationship reading for November 2017. I will shuffle for just a few more seconds, and then I'll cut the cards. Your first card is the Magician in reverse. The next card is a King of Cups. I have a Five of Swords. This is a Page of Wands, a Queen of Wands, a Ten of Wands. Well, this is certainly interesting. Lots of fire, not much in the way of swords. Oh, well, here's a Knight of Swords reversed. I have a Ten of Swords. Maybe I spoke too soon there, Aquarius. And then I have Justice in reverse. Well, Aquarius, just looking at what I'm seeing here for you, yeah, it looks like you have some turbulence here and conflict. You have a Five of Swords here, Knight of Swords reversed, Ten of Swords. And one of the things that I think also is interesting that I've noticed in these readings, significators, you know, your swords. So there are certain suits in the swords that do have significators. The Knight of Swords is usually associated with Gemini. If there was a King of Swords, it would be a different story for you. But I'm seeing a battle here with wands, especially seeing that the Magician has a wand as well. And that's where my attention is drawn to. And you only have two major arcana. You have this Magician reversed, and then you also have Justice in reverse. And if I had a newspaper headline to describe what's going on, the battle between the swords and the wands, because you have a major arcana with a wand, and then these three wands here, and then you have a major arcana with a sword, and then these three swords here. The Magician, who manifests and has influence and works magic, this Magician is using their powers for bad. They have a negative influence. They're manipulative. And it has a lot to do with this Queen of Wands right here in the center here. Lots of this Page of Wands is honesty and trust. At the same time, it can mean being, pages are also very young people. So this Page of Wands can also be about, the Page of Wands can also be about being young and trusting and someone who's not quite mature. But this page is next to a Queen of Wands here who's very confident. It is a feminine energy, but it doesn't mean, queens also mean inner energy as well, the inner workings of that element, that inner fire. And so the Ten of Wands is the card of being overwhelmed and a struggle. So with these wands that I'm seeing here that you're having a conflict with, because there is a Five of Swords, which is the card of defeat, a bruised ego. I feel like there's someone who has a big influence. And I'll get to this King of Cups by itself. There are no pentacles, but there's a solitary card with a cup. But in a way, I feel like the person with this Wands energy for some of you, and it doesn't have to be a fire sign. Wands represent fire. You're kind of getting beat up a little bit. If I'm imagining this boxing ring and this person has you against the ropes, you're linked to this person, they've got your mind in a pretzel. You don't know whether you're coming or going sometimes. And so lots of conflict and struggle, but a defeat. When you get a Five of Swords, it means that you might suffer a defeat in a battle. You might not get your way here. Your ego might get hurt. And keep in mind, air signs don't necessarily take defeat or rejection very well. We do tend to internalize and pull back. And sometimes it can sort of put our minds in overdrive, overthinking a situation, reliving it over and over. Now, this King of Cups here, it's right above the Queen of Wands. Do I necessarily see the King of Cups as another person? Well, I do know that cups being water and being associated with feelings and emotion. The King of Cups as a person or personality, it is someone who keeps their emotions. They are loving and generous, but they also keep a check on their emotions. Kings master challenges. Kings rule. They control. And so someone who's keeping their emotions in check here, they're not necessarily allowing their emotions to be available. They're not showing. So when I look at this Queen of Wands and King of Cups together, water and fire, someone who runs hot and cold, that could certainly be the situation for some of you who are Aquarians. And so I see that struggle. Someone who's manipulating you, this Magician in reverse. They're using their influence in the wrong way in the relationship because emotionally they're holding back. And in the meantime, the fact that they're holding back their emotions in a relationship sort of it strings you along. It keeps you hoping for something better. That's where I'm seeing the manipulation, where this person will keep you hanging on emotionally, but yet they switch between hot and cold. So we have a little bit of the coldness, this water, this emotional, this person's emotionally on guard here. But when we get here, tons of fire. This person, as we head into November, this person's going to completely dominate and sort of keep you on your toes and maybe stress you out a little bit. Now keep in mind, knowing this information that the Oracle is giving you, you don't have to let this person stress you out or keep yanking your chain. But this is why love is so difficult, especially if we are emotionally invested in that person. And so this King of Cups can also mean your emotional attachment to that person. You want to love them, but you're still feeling a need to hold back because of their negative influence, that they'll take advantage of you, that they know you care for them, but yet they can't help but take advantage of that. So defeat, a little bit of a struggle in love, a little bit of rejection or defeat that I see for you Aquarians with this particular person of interest. So yes, this person needs you. They come to you with this Page of Wands. Let's be together. And then this Queen of Wands just pulls you in and seduces you. And then the next minute they're turning away. They're not available. 10 of Wands here. It seems like they've got issues. they put burdens on your back. And so this overload of fire here that I'm seeing is leading into this last long-term future to where it's really having a negative effect on you, because I think you will feel, with this Knight of Swords in reverse, you will feel defensive. This person's going to be playing mind games with some of you. For some of you, it's an issue of mind games and this person being manipulative. But also the back and forth, because fire is one of those temperamental energies where it's going full blast and then it dies out the next minute or the next day. And this person who's extroverted and, like I said, seductive, and they can be happy and they can turn on the charm and pull you back in because they know what buttons to push. For some of you, it's an issue of being sucked in and then just a bunch of baggage and being overwhelmed and you needing to take care of them. For some of you, it seems to be a very unbalanced relationship, because then we go from your negative energy with this Knight of Swords, feeling hurt and betrayed and defensive, and your mind is like in overdrive trying to figure out what this person is up to. This leads to a Ten of Swords, which is next to the Justice card in reverse. And this is very important because this is the card of betrayal here. This is the card of pain and someone really disappointing you here. And then this Justice card, which is the card of fairness, that sword is also pointed down. So these swords, this Knight of Swords is pointing down, the Justice card is pointing down here. This person is not treating you fairly. There's going to be a big mistake being made here. And I get a feeling that someone is really going to mess up. So I think you do need to protect yourself, Aquarius. But at the same time, you can't let this person get inside your brain and play these games with you. Now, this plays out in a lot of different ways, okay? I definitely feel that for some of you, you might be attached to partners who are too demanding, who are not being easy to get along with in the relationship, and they need to sort those issues out because they're not being fair to you. So I'm shuffling for an outcome card. See here. Whoa. Okay, so we have death. Okay. Couple ways we can see this here. Especially with these swords. Be very careful for some of you that someone is really going to you're going to get blindsided. For some of you, they're going to do something that will come out of the blue and they're going to be like, what the hell was that? Okay? And it could be you leaving. But whatever it is, this is going to bring a current situation in a relationship that's been very stressful, has been causing you a lot of anxiety here with that Knight of Swords reversed. And it's going to lead to a situation to where there's going to be some type of big blow up or something that happened that's very unfair to you, because that Ten of Swords is leading right into the Justice reversed. And so for some of you, keep in mind, death leads to a new beginning. For some of you, this might actually mean an ending to a very stressful situation where the universe says enough. The universe is sort of like the referee here, and it says stop it, enough, you're getting too beat up here, okay? And I definitely feel that some of you have been putting up with this situation for a little bit with this person, that you've tried to work things out, and this person has been off and on, and they've been manipulative, and they always need you, and they They're like, oh, I miss you, let's be together, and they're hot and they're cold and you can't figure out what's going on. So the tarot is saying you definitely need to step away, and death is usually closure, permanent closure, that this is it, and then there's a new beginning. But also keep in mind that there could be a breakup. Okay, never rule that out. I mean, we have to take death here not as physical, but usually death comes as a signal from the universe that it is time to move on. But it's definitely, if it's not about a breakup, I will tell you that death seems to be coming, appearing in your outcome to say this has gone on long enough, that certain things are going to be brought to a head here, and you might actually end up being very grateful that it did come to this. I don't want people to be necessarily afraid, because when I give relationship readings, it seems like no one wants to see death here. No one wants to see this show up, because it can mean a breakup. It can mean someone being, someone leaving your life. But keep in mind that death always brings transformation as well. And this could be a transformation you need. It doesn't necessarily mean that your person of interest is leaving. But I do see a transformation of a situation. I do see things coming to a head with this betrayal and you getting stressed out and feeling this anxiety about this person. And I think that you might even decide this is enough. I'm done with it. So don't be afraid of what's happening here. And don't be afraid of the transformation that's to come, because I think some of you already know what's going on here with all of these wands and with the Magician in reverse. Okay? So be strong, Aquarius. The universe has always got your back here. Okay? So that was my reading. But as always, I want to thank everyone for your support, your wonderful comments, and also keep in mind that I have a reading, a special for my tarot readings, the personal reading, which you've just witnessed just here. This is a reading. You can get your own personal video for a tarot reading, and usually it's $20, but for the month of November I decided that my special, it'll be $15 for this month. So for all my new subscribers, if you've been thinking about getting a reading from me, but it never seems to be the right time, and then some of you have shared that my general readings have been so on point, which is wonderful, that's great. But if you ever feel that you need more specific insight into your life and your situation, you might want to check it out. If you go to tarotbyaire.com, and there's a booking button, you click the button and you'll see a list of all of my services. So I hope to hear from you, new subscribers, this month. So thank you very much. I wish you love and light always, and I will see you next month.